Hi, my name is Natasha Njee and I run Avana Laundromat, which is located at Chaka Place off Agunskodek Road in the Kilimani, Haringam area. At Avana Laundromat, what we do is wash, dry and fold laundry. So we offer this service to both residential and commercial customers. So what it is, we take in laundry which we can pick and deliver. So when we say laundry, talk about everything, your clothes, your bed sheets, your towels, your duvets, curtains, everything that you call laundry. We come, we pick, we deliver. When we receive it, we weigh your clothes and we charge per kg. And then what we do, we wash and dry, and then immediately after that we fold, and this is as good as having them ironed. And then when they're ready, which is the same day, we have them delivered, or you can come and collect. So in terms of looking for what we required for the business, so it's a laundromat. So what we essentially have is equipment. We have washers and dryers, a commercial, actually where we've got the LG washing commercial machines, and they're built like domestic machines. So they're very slim and stackable. So we didn't need a lot of space, but what we needed was to be in the right place for the business to take off. So we had to think about where there's a lot of people, a lot of apartments, because those are the people that's most likely will need our service, because there's no space to wash your laundry, there's no space to dry it. People are drying on the balconies. Apartments now are coming and saying you cannot dry on or anika your clothes on the balcony. You have to take them to the rooftop. At the rooftop, you have to chill there with watching your clothes because it's a security issue. So we needed to be in a space where there's a lot of residential that are apartments or high densely populated areas. So it took us a long time to find the right space, because a lot of these areas are there, but they are also very crowded. And to find a space where there's good secure parking, for example, there's good security, electricity is a concern. Does it has it got like a backup generator, for example? Has it got 3-phase, because our machines are 3-phase? Is there water? That's the biggest thing, right? Water and washing machines, it's gotta be water, or a backup source of water. So looking for the space was like months and months on end to find the perfect space. And it was just by God's send that we got the space that we're in. Perfect. It is parking, which is not paid for. So when you come over, no stress. And then there's electricity, there's a backup generator, and then there's a great source of water. There's coming from Nairobi water, as well as having a borehole. So in terms of the space that we required, essentially, because the machines are very slender and beautiful and slim, we didn't need that much space. But because of our concept, so Avana Laundromat is a franchise concept. So we needed an initial headquarters, so to speak. So this space it's about 718 square feet. It was perfect for our startup. As Avana, we call it Avana number 1, or our headquarters. So it allows us, a big amount of space allows us to set up the machines and to set up training areas, because we want to train the people who are coming to start up the next Avanas. And we also have our space, which we're in, like an office space. So a laundromat essentially really needs a small space, up to 500 square feet. But with this space, we were able to play around with areas that we had, and we could, visualize it. It used to be a spa, a salon, so we could look at how we could play around with the space and make it work for what Avana headquarters was meant to be. So it's perfect. Finding the space for me, it was everything for me, because it was important to start with good enough space. I had to think through what the customer journey would be, first of all. So how the customer would come in, and then from there how the service journey would be. How do we receive your clothes? What was the flow, for example, for our team or our staff? If they receive the clothes, where would they go from there? So that flow was important for me, because I needed it to be seamless. I didn't want people jumping or being on top of each other. There's no space, I can't move or I can't navigate. So it was really important to understand the flow of the movement of our service. So come in, we receive your clothes. Is there enough space to sort of sort them out? Is there table space? If we wash and we set them up in the washer and the dryer, what was that going to look like in terms of movement, from picking the clothes and setting them up and then taking them out again? Was I in the way of somebody else? So, and then all the way to even folding the clothes, the area of folding the clothes, was it going to be in the full view of the customer? How does that look? I found that I've seen other spaces where everything is done in the full view of the consumer or the customer, and I just didn't like it. So for me, it was important to understand the flow of the customer and our service flow, and that it was seamless, and there was just a flow. So why laundry? Actually, I've been employed. I've gone through the whole employment story. Got out of employment at some point in my life and decided, and I was not sure what to do. So I didn't know whether to do something I'm really, really good at, and I didn't even know what I was really good at. So I've done a lot of trying, and try this, try that. And then you find that in business, it's not really sometimes about what you're good at, but sometimes you've got to think about what's the opportunity in the market at the time. So when I bumped into this whole concept of laundromat, for one, it's a new concept. It's not really known here in Kenya, and number two, it's a necessity. Like everybody needs clean clothes. Everybody needs to wear clean clothes. And what's out there in the market right now is consumers who are living in these apartments, who don't have the ability to buy maybe washing machines, or who have mama who are coming to their homes and they don't like that inconvenience of having to sit and wait for mama to wash their clothes, and then the days or the time that and the length that is taken to wash clothes and to dry them. So they have to come back maybe another day to iron and then fold and then put back their clothes. So for me, I saw an opportunity that's not really tapped, and I thought, for once, I'm going into business for the right reason, to fill a need, an actual need, and that's why I got into the laundromat business. In terms of fears and doubts when going into any business, there's always fear. There's always fear of failure. Number one, biggest fear, huge. And in my other past businesses, I failed and I was devastated until my father told me, listen, I'm so happy you have failed, because that means that you've got an opportunity to wake up and try again and try and try. So getting into this business, I've come to the space where, okay, if it works, I'll know it works. And if it doesn't work, well, we tried. So you have the fear, but your focus is on, how am I going to make it work? How am I going to this time, do the right research, and this time understand what the customer need is and then deliver. One of the points or the areas of delivery is customer service. Are we connecting the customer, and are they loving the service so that they come back again? And so that's been my focus. How do I make it work? There's no time for fearing. Don't fear. So when we finally found the space, like I was saying, for me it was important that the flow be correct. The way they say about the yin and yang and feng shui, like, is the energy correct in the space? So when I looked for an interior designer, that was important, that somebody understood my theme and what I needed in terms of that whole flow process. So looking for an interior designer who could understand and deliver on that was important. And also just to keep it as simple. I didn't want any fanfare around the design or the fit out, because actually the machines themselves are quite beautiful. When you look at them, they have already a lot of beauty. So can you then give me the flow that I need? I'm part of a business network group. It's called BNI, Business Network International. And this is a network that has over 400 members who are in different categories. And I use a lot of this network to be able to ask for things that I need, or get a referral. So this is how I found Charles. Charles belongs to one of my chapters, one of the chapters under BNI, and found Charles and said, you know what, let me just try Charles. My partner as well had also other people in mind. So we had all these people who were pitching for the job, so to speak. Gave them our theme, our idea, our flow issues. And when Charles came through, it was like night and day, because he was able to deliver and to give me a rendered image of how my flow would work and how it would look. And if you actually look at the rendered images of what we were presented for in terms of a design and what we have today, they're replica. And it's just beautiful how Charles works, and I just loved it. He was able to bring my idea to life, and because I was able to see it, how this is how it's going to be, then I was able to connect with it on just immediately, as opposed to just having like a design on a flat paper and be told, over here is okay, you see over here this corner is where you guys are going to be. So the design it matters when you're able to bring something to life and show your customer what it is that will, or how it can look like real life, then it makes sense. But something flat on the paper, you're sort of now trying to imagine what it is, and then I can imagine the worst thing is your imagination of what some paper or some drawing or some lines are going to be and what it will actually be in the end. The two, it will have a conflict. So for me, I saw what it was going to be, and we delivered what it was, or what it looked like. Perfect. So just so that you know, I was not doing this by myself. So I have a partner. My partner, he lives in the US, and his name is Peter Magelo. So Peter has lived in the US for a long time. He's lived for over 25 years in the US. And when we showed him this rendering, he was just like, man, this is first of all, Kenya has reached over there that we can present something like that, like a rendering of what you are looking for. And you don't even have to be asked to do it. You know, a lot of interior designers will probably say, hey, put the money down first before I even to deliver something on paper, you'd have to make a payment. And that is worrying. That of course I have to think about how much my budget. I don't want to pay someone for something that I won't like. So it was great to see that initiative of Charles coming through and saying, look, this is the project, this is how I see it, and this is how I've rendered it to look like, without asking for a penny first. That was great. That gave us immediately a great way of working together and trusting. If he could trust that I would come through, or that I could come back and let him know whether I like something or not, that trust issue was built from the onset. That rendering thing was just a plus. I'm not sure whether I shared with Charles because what I do, I like to go into Pinterest. So I've got an idea in my head, so I go into Pinterest and try and see whether I can see or spot or identify something that I've been thinking. So I'll pick up different ideas, how the look and feel will be, for example, colors, how those colors are going to be. We already had our logo, so how, by the way, we had a logo. How do you translate the logo into the interior, right? That's such a huge part of everything. And so going into Pinterest and just trying to sort of like collect, it was like my mood board. So collect different images and say, okay, for my reception table, it needs to have this kind of look and feel. For the framework where the machines are going to be placed, it needs to have this look and feel. So just collect different images from different places, and then you could show that to your interior designer, and that helps them then come up, because they get a feel for your style. So I think that's related to what Charles was able to deliver. Because when he delivered it was just right on. It was right on. It was my feel, it was my style, it was the colors just were relatable to our logo. It was just perfect. It was just right. Now we've got the design work, we've got the interiors, everything's approved. So how do we move on to the next stage? So we had a unique situation in that laundromats and the setup of machines was new. It's not a known one. So it's because the concept is sort of new. We were not really experienced, or the team didn't have that experience. So we decided why don't we then work with somebody, a contractor who has done it before. So we're partners with Hotpoint. Hotpoint have set up proof of concept in Buruburu. They've got a laundromat, the first laundromat that was launched in Buruburu Point Mall, and the second one at TRM. So we decided, let's use somebody who already has a know-how of what is needed to set up, because you might have this wonderful design and it looks beautiful, but it's not practical, right? You set up your machines and it all looks nice and whatever, fancy, and oh wow, it's like the render, but then it's not practical. What happens in terms of behind the scenes? There's always behind the scenes, especially when there's machines. What's the behind the machines of the behind the scenes of the machines? How much space do you need? Like, we needed space behind the machines. That then cut off space that was created in the design work. So there's all these things that we never think about past interior work that matter. And so we had to now bring on board Bage. Bage is a contractor, and he's from Kenya Joiners, and he had done the previous works at Buruburu and TRM. And that way we're able then to deliver this project in record time. It was crazy how we delivered this project. I think I was here every day making sure, like, okay, what's the plan? But it was delivered in record time. I mean, I think within a month we had set up like 90% of the work. The result, OMG. It's from the design work to actual thing, like you put the two together and you're like, okay, which one's the real picture? Except this one has got people, this one has got like images of people. So that it was just exactly what we saw is what we got. And who can't be happy? I'm so happy, I'm thrilled. I got what I wanted. Would I recommend A+? Of course I would. Of course I would. I think I love the energy of the team. The team is younger, which is always great because you've got new, fresh ideas. So you're not like clamped down with, this is how we do things, this is the way things work. So you're always willing to try different ways of doing things. So that's a plus. That's an A+. So there's energy, there's vibrancy, and your ideas are. I love that you're relatable. I'm older than you guys. I'm old, but we relate. You're able to deliver what it is that I'm looking for, and I think that is key. That is key. I know there must be a lot of projects out there that people clash because you just don't see the vision. I definitely recommend A+, because you saw what I was seeing and you brought it to life. Of course, with any construction or this kind of work, you do get a lot of situations that, they come up. Things come up. It can't be perfect. So I think it's the expectation and the understanding that things don't work as smoothly. There's issues that will come up along the way. In terms of regrets, because of those things, no, there are no regrets, because when I was able to bring up the issues or verbalize and say, I was not happy here, A+ were able to just, sit down, listen to my concerns and deal with them. There was no hard-headedness, or there was no, arrogance that I know and you don't know. It's being able to relate to my issue and being able to then deliver or speak to me through how we can solve those issues. So no regrets, and definitely a lot more coming up to do together, because remember, it's a franchise, so we can't wait for the next ones that are coming up, the next Avanas. So because we're in partnership with LG, we're distributors of the LG commercial washing machines. So we are in partnership with LG and as well as Hotpoint. So We are selling the machines on behalf of Hotpoint. So our launch was spectacular. We went out, I mean, we just launched with a bang, and as a result, we got a lot of coverage of our launch and a lot of customers coming in. I think also our digital marketing has really helped a lot. We get a lot of response and a lot of customers just walking in, even just response. The best part is the response from seeing from the outside. When someone is walking and they see, oh, what's that? That being able to identify and say, oh, that looks interesting, let me walk in there and find out what that's about. We get a lot of that response, which is fantastic. So we look good outside, we look good inside, and now our focus is making sure that our service is spot on. So the response has been great. We've had already, I mean, it's been 2-3 months, even 3 months, and we already have a lot of repeat customers. I mean, our customer base is just growing every day. We're open from 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. on a daily, Monday to Monday. So it's amazing how every day there's 2-3 new customers, and they keep coming back. So this is a great business. I love it. I love how we look. There's a lot of, wow, when people walk in and say, oh my gosh, wow, this place is beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah. So business is great. We look great, and we're looking forward to the next Avana store. I hope we'll have a great launch as well. And yeah, we can't wait for bigger things and looking up. So we've hit our target of opening our first Avana store in 2022. Hopefully by the end of this year, we are looking at opening our second Avana store. So we are actually in the market for a partner who would love to join us and to open up our second store. And also just looking for location. Location is just a thing, like I said earlier. Location has been everything. So finding the perfect location, finding the perfect partner, because we have to gel, and then just being able to deliver the same look and feel. And that's why we need to stick with A+, because then you deliver the same look and feel and the energy in the other Havanas to come, so that when you walk into any Havana, you will find the same treatment, the same customer service, the same look and feel. You will feel like you're just in an Avana store. It doesn't matter where it is, in Kenya or in East Africa or in Africa, because that's where we're headed. So in a parting shot, I'll say something that my business partner always reminds me. It's a quote by, what's her name, Maya Angelou, that says, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. A+, you make me feel fantastic, and I'll always remember you. And anyway, we're together for life, so there. Thank you for everything.